The other thing I was going to throw out there is Lake County, where I live now, does not have a minor league team. But when we did, that was also like a $10 evening.
Yep.
So you could just go. I don't know if you've been to a minor league ball games, but I really enjoyed it. Explain your experience. I'm curious what your experience at minor league ball games were like versus the ones we had around here.
I'm going to have to talk about St. Paul again here.
Shout out to St. Paul. You're the highlighted city of this episode.
That is where our capital is, so it's somewhat important. No, we used to live there. We love St. Paul. But we have the St. Paul Saints, who actually are now a feeder to the Minnesota Twins. So that makes it even more fun to go to a game because there's actually been a number of players who have gone down because of injury and then are playing back through the Saints to get back to the team. And they're like big names, like guys that started on the Twins. So you go and you get to watch them at the smaller ballpark for cheaper tickets. So that's a good hack, actually, if you keep up on these players. So you don't want them to get injured, but if they're being sent down, this is a great time to go see them. Here's a couple fun facts. St. Paul Saints are owned by Bill Murray, and so he's up occasionally. I think there are maybe a couple owners, but he has a pretty big stake, and because of that, I think it's become a very fun ticket to have in town, and it's very fan friendly. They have like massage chairs, and you can get your hair cut during the game. And they have just all these wacky, crazy things, funny things that happen. And I think it's around $10 to $15 a seat. Like, it's really inexpensive. And they actually just built a new stadium over the last few years, right off of downtown St. Paul. So Minneapolis has the Twins Stadium, and now St. Paul has an outdoor, very nice stadium. I think they're like 12 miles apart, basically. But it's a pretty great ticket to have. If we lived a little bit closer, I think we'd actually do that a bit more because it's way more affordable, and our kids, it's totally geared toward the family. There's kids, things to do. There's a lot of mascots. I'm not sure my kids would like that yet, but something about mascots, I don't know, freaky. But it's fun, and then getting to see some big names come through there that are going to go back and play for the big team in town at some point too.
Yeah, I actually thought the minor league games are actually more fun. I think you get more bang for your buck in terms of just pure enjoyment. Now, if you are a fan of a pro team, that can be great. But the reality is there were no bad seats at the minor league games. I think Schaumburg has the Flyers, or maybe they changed their name, but they have a minor league too, and they do just a great job. Parking's easier. The tickets are cheap. The mascots are there. Even when we used to go to Fielder games, before the game, the players would come out to the bleachers and just shake hands and talk to people. And yes, you get pictures with the mascots, and they would just do a bunch of fan-friendly activities because, you know what, they are dependent on those people coming in. That is the only energy. Otherwise, it's like baseball practice, right? It's just, so you can sit really close. You can just walk right up to the fence. Different parks are different depending on how long they've been around, and some have much nicer parks. But especially if you are in an area where the team isn't huge and doesn't have a big enterprise, that can almost be an advantage because of how homey it feels and how almost small town America it feels. So I really loved that. It's a great value. And again, you didn't have to buy season tickets. You could just go. So that was really cool.